really Triumphs out here. Well, this isn't the right place. Oh yes, that looks like a bobber to me. There it is.
Cruise control there if you need it.
Very nice.
Rider motor on that one.
Ooh, there we go. Nice reassuring clunk. Yes. Oh, here we go. It feels like we're slightly forward, of course, on this one. It's almost like a clamshell position on the bobber. The seat, as ever, is firm. Plenty of power in this one. Oh, need to adjust the clutch, I think. Clutch and brake levers. Oh, that's better. Yeah. So this bike, I can put both feet firmly on the ground, but it has a kind of unique sort of riding position some people don't like very much. Mirrors are okay. Seat is very firm. Love the position of the speed on this, very readable. I think I'd want to adjust the position of the gear lever though, it's just a little bit awkward to get my foot under that. Mirrors actually set them up right for once, it's rare. Usually with demo bikes you find yourself having to fiddle about with all sorts of things. I've done a bit the clutch, but it still feels a little bit of a reach. You get used to it. And this bike's only done 123 miles. I'll stop at some point, do a walk round and go through the usual things, modes. This is just to remind me of what this bike is like and what it's capable of. Gear position indicator, of course, fuel gauge. It's actually a very simple setup. It hasn't changed really hardly at all in the last 10 years, for which I'm grateful, because I think once they go to a TFT, it'll also lose some of that retro feel. That's what I like about this one, and the Indian Scout, which is also on my list. But this bike is 15 grand, give or take. Probably give a lot more if you add some spicy extras. Cruise control is always good on these. You've got this Urgent engine. It looks good from the get-go. You wouldn't need to do that much to make it look killer. Maybe a different seat, maybe grips, a few little gewgaws to make it stand out a bit. These things are, despite their looks, surprisingly flickable, as I found out on my earlier rides. Plenty of go when you need it. Probably too much go for me, really. I'm not going to drive like a loon. No, only for brief spells. So, Triumph Bonneville Bobber. Put some specs up on screen. We all should know these by now, but anyway, about 77 horsepower and a low seat height, bobbered out look, minimal. But they've got a bigger fuel tank this year, and it looks more or less the same actually, very slightly more bulbous, but I think it's gone to about 14 litres. I'll put the exact figure up on screen again, but that will give you a range probably in excess of 150, maybe 180 miles if you're taking it steady. No matter how good you feel on the bike, it doesn't make you more visible, unfortunately. Oh, I love the feel of that. We're in third. Fourth, they're in indicated 45, 50. I mean, you could, of course, put it up to 6. It does take a little bit more to push it about than some other bikes. Oh my goodness. I think the shock would need adjusting for me. I think it's set at a higher setting than I would have it. I've been lucky so far. got more or less clear road for a bit. The brakes don't have an instant grab, but they do have plenty of bite when you pull on the lever a bit harder. And I think some people quite reasonably want to put some bar risers on, so you'd be less of a clamshell position, so you'd be slightly more upright. This isn't an exploring Cornwall video, it's a kind of reacquainting myself with a bike that I love, but typically I have not been able to afford, and probably still can't unless I sell various bits of my anatomy. So we're in third. This bike does feel like it needs a bit of running in, I have to say, so I'll be gentle with it. Grips feel nice. Grips feel nice. And that, you can feel it's a twin. It's that feel of the torque driving you forward is highly addictive. And quite dangerous, of course, if you want to keep your licence in today's speed camera obsessed place. See what you'll do through this bit. Oh yes. There's all the power you need in the world. You know, when people need bikes over 100 horsepower, and 77 will get you plenty, in my view. But, you know, if you're, I suppose, a very skilled rider, I want to push things to the edge, but then the only place you can really do that is on a track, because otherwise it's completely illegal in the UK, and also just dangerous. It's not necessarily your own skills, it's the other drivers who won't recognise how fast a motorcycle can go. Let's stop here. And a very easy stop and do walk around, and I'll maybe make one or two little adjustments. Now, where's the key? Somewhere down the side, isn't it? Walker's place. Old school. Very old school. That's your USB, and neatly hidden there.
So, the Triumph Bonneville Bobber in black.
Back in black.
Brembos, front and rear. Double discs at the front. Fake carb on the side. Chain drive. Chain drive. Bonneville 1200 high torque engine, parallel twin, fat tyres, front and rear, LED indicators, headlight, adjustable levers, single speedo with LCD display, quite old school by now, single seat, monoshock. And the exhaust still look awesome. Black finish engine, I think is nice. Controls a bit more forward than they used to be. I don't know if they've moved them, or perhaps it's just me. But anyway, I would move that gear change lever up by a notch, just to give myself a bit of space. Cat under there somewhere. As you can get fancy ones, and I do like the spark plug covers. That's the bigger tank. Does it look bigger? Let's do a run through of all the fancy stuff. Turn it on, all the idiot lights come on. You've got your mode button somewhere here, so this will change with the odometer. Trip 1, trip 2, give you MPG. That's probably average. And then range 106 miles. Fuel gauges are so inaccurate. Let's turn off the indicators. The left cluster, we've got indicators, low main beam. We've also got the flasher button on there, horn button and cruise control, which I probably won't use today. On the right cluster, we've got hazards, start, engine kill switch, and that's your lock me handsomes. And road, we're going to stay in. I can't remember how to change, but we're not going to change into rain. It's a very sturdy feeling bike and quite heavy, but because it's so low, even I can comfortably flat-foot it. Rain, road, side stand, so easy on this one. I am feeling a bit of heat coming up. Oops, a couple of guys on their bikes. He's coming past. See, on this bike, you can pretty much keep up with all the big boys on their fast ADVs and street bikes. Perhaps not the sportiest of sport bikes, but almost all things. Right. Somebody's been riding this pretty hard if it's only doing 40. Coming into Lana, the Kawasaki dealership is. But we're not paying them a visit just right now. These guys are, I think, though. Yeah. It looks a bit crowded there at the moment. Cruise control is on, so you're doing 30, you see the green light. Actually wants to be lower than that. You can put it in cruise on 20 if you like, and that actually does take away some of the guesswork, because when you're in one of these average camera places, you don't really want to be accidentally finding you've gone through it at 25 instead of 20. Exhaust is fairly quiet, but that is it. It's a Euro 5 plus, I guess. I think most of the time you'd have the rev counter on, or would you? Can be a bit distracting, can't it? Time is probably as useful. So a quick venturation onto the A30 and then back. Oh, that's the same route. Oh, it's great to be out on a bike. Seat is firmer than I remember. Certainly cups you, but I don't know how long you'd be able to last on it before you needed a break. Because it's, one thing increasing the size of the fuel tank, so you've got maybe to 180, let's say, mile range. Could you ride for 180 miles seatless firm? And this clammed up bar risers, I think, and a slightly softer seat, and adjusting the suspension maybe to something a little bit more compliant. But I just love the single speedo. And if they do update it to a thin film, I think that will be kind of almost an end of an era, really, because I think all the other bikes in this class are verging towards that now. I think fundamentally it's probably cheaper to make things with no moving parts and lots of electronics than it is a device which has, a swooping speedo. And first is a reasonable gear. Generally the gearing is spot on, really. 30 and third. What does that give you in terms of revs? 1900. That's probably about right, isn't it? So you won't be sort of heading around town in top gear doing that chugging thing that Harleys do. I must admit, do prefer a needle than a LED, LCD, TFT display. Somehow feels more proper. So very, very, very quick run up the A30, then back. Now, we can actually open up for once. This is where you see the power of that engine. We're going to slow down. Because there's no wind protection on this. 2,750, 2,700 revs at 70. It's just loping along, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, motorway stuff done, or dual carriageway stuff done.
Here we go. Feet on the ground. Feels very comfortable. Though it is quite a wide bike. Going right here. Lovely and smooth at 2,000 upwards. Now, return the way we came. So I'll do a separate summary of my thoughts once again on the Bobber and my needs going forward, because it's definitely still top of the list. Looks, performance, brand identity, all those sort of things. And I want one very much, but at 15 grand new, it's more than I would commit to at the moment. I know the man says you've got personal contract purchase. You just end up paying a lot of interest, and I'm retired and I really don't want to commit to that. Even the second-hand ones go for silly money, and I'll put some examples up on screen, like 10-year-old bikes going for 7, 8, 9 grand, and it's like, well, really? Oh, a nice little scooter. Well, we're heading in the right direction now, but it's a bit slow here, me hansoms. So I've been Andy. Captain Clumsy from Quarters Motorcycle Diaries. Please like, comment and subscribe. Helps this channel stay above the choppy waters of the YouTube algorithm, deliver better content to you. Hit the hype button if you can, if you're on a mobile device, and I'll see you in the next one. And what do you think? Is the Triumph Bobber the right bike for me? Is the Triumph Bobber the right bike for you? What are its strong points? What are its weak points in your view? Because it is quite expensive for what it is. I do love it. Well, on that bombshell, time to end this video. Thank you for watching. Bye for now. And I'll see you in the next one.